I've done it automatically.
Why have you started recording without us telling you? This is not okay.
This is obviously the start of the video now.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Unnamed Gaming Podcast. You may be wondering why my bedroom has turned into a big white box and why I'm talking very strangely. And the reason for that is because we are actually at WASD. As you might be able to tell, it is the end of the day. We are all very tired. But having said that, we have played some very good games today, and that is what we are going to talk about. Not fall asleep on you.
Yeah.
We may fall asleep on you. Sam, go on. Take it.
I mean, I'm sorry if I fall asleep on you. I've put on a few extra pounds, might hurt. Okay, I don't like this angle because it shows off my extra chins, but okay, so initial thoughts on WASD, the second year.
WSD the second.
Yes, Judgment Day. Doesn't feel like it's grown in terms of games and stuff available to play. I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all.
No, but I think there are more new games that aren't out this year than there were last year. I think a lot of the games we had last year were already out. This year there's a lot of games I've not heard of at all, and ones that are definitely like wishlisters, so...
Yeah, no, I'm the same. There's a lot of games that I saw, I was like, yes, I want to play this, and some have been out for months, and I've not even, didn't even know they were released. I think, if anything, it's I'm not saying it's a bad venue, but I think I just prefer Tobacco Docks as a venue.
Yeah, it is a very nice place. Acoustically, it's much better. I can't hear people talking to me in this place. It's the echo is too much for me. Like, I was trying to talk to a developer, and I just could not hear a word he was saying. So, in terms of acoustics, it's not great. But there again, people are coming here to play games, not to record videos half the time. So,
excuse me. That's all I've done today.
What, you haven't played any games?
Nope, not one. No, actually, I played a game. Get out of the beanbag.
This was a fun game to
That was a struggle.
Very challenging.
There is Twitch integration.
You get to push me back in the beanbag and laugh.
With a big comedy boxing. Yeah, that's right.
Hopefully this mic will pick people up. Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
If not, I will be turning the volume up in edit.
Post edit.
Yes. So, first game we came across when we walked in was the Rose one.
Yeah. What's it called? It's a.
Watch as we go onto our phones now, guys. Yeah. This is true professional journalism right here.
There was. I mean, we have played a few.
This was right at the beginning of the morning, okay?
It was Mask. There
is.
Mask of the Rose.
It's a dating simulator in the Fallen London universe, which is the same universe as
Sunless Skies.
Sunless Skies and Sunless Seas.
Yes.
And I think there's another game called Fallen London, which is like a web game thing. But it's kind of like a visual novel come dating simulator, and apparently you can date Cthulhu. And that's all played it a bit. What did you think?
It was really good for, it's a story simulator. It's very good. The visuals are very good. It looks like it's going to be a very in-depth and interesting storyline. There does look like there might be consequences for things, which is always good in these types of games. Unfortunately, the one I was playing on, the the words at the bottom of the screen were going too fast for me to be able to read them. The game dev thought that perhaps they'd been turned up in the settings.
There wasn't any voice acting, was there?
No, there's no voice acting. I will say I was looking at other people's screens and it was going just as fast, so I think actually they've just cocked up their build for this one. But yeah, it's good. I'm definitely going to get it. I've never played Sunless Skies before. It's always one that's intrigued me, but it's always felt a bit in depth.
The universe is very cool. Right?
Yeah,
it's a very interesting and intriguing
concept. If you
concept.
like culty Cthulhu-y things, the Sunless Skies Sunless Seas, whatever it's called. The entire universe is very interesting. I would definitely recommend you go back and play all of the games, all of the previous games, and then when this is out, come on to this one. But yes, I will definitely be getting that one when it comes out.
I believe both of them are particularly, if you like games with lots of writing in, they've got a lot of writing in, particularly Sunless Seas, I believe, is lots and lots
Reading
of lore.
simulator.
Yeah.
I think the thing that caught my eye for it all was that London has been stolen by bats.
Yes, London has been stolen by bats.
Yes, that was very very amusing as a premise, but it looked really cool, and yeah, you can date old gods. What's not to like?
No, I did manage to get a little 2-minute chat with one of the guys, James, at the booth.
Here's the interview now.
Yes, I will splice that in right now. Hello, I'm here with James from Fail Better Games, and he is going to tell us a little bit about their game Mask of the Rose that's coming out on the 8th of June. Take it away, James.
Hi, so Mask of the Rose is set in the Fallen London universe. We've made games called Sun the Sea and Sun the Skies previously. This is our first visual novel, and the idea is London in the 19th century is stolen by bats and dragged underground. And in this visual novel, you'll be kind of exploring monsters, making connections, seeing what life's like in the first few months after this traumatic event, romancing monsters, solving a murder, and getting to know people and kind of finding out secrets and mysteries and lore hidden within the kind of visual novel itself.
Sounds very interesting. One of my co-host Nettle is currently playing it at the moment. This is definitely her jam, especially if there's someone she can cosplay.
We're hoping for a lot of cosplay. Mr. Page is kind of a huge looming figure in kind of a large bed sheet, effectively. So we're hoping he will.
That's an easy one for me to do then. Also, we have a thing where we played a game called Cthulhu Saves Christmas. So we've taken Cthulhu as our patron on the podcast, and there is a Cthulhu character in your game.
Yes, you have to kind of dig to find him, quite literally. But there is a tentacled character who has quite a complex story of his own that you can discover, along with kind of several strange and unexpected connections that he has. And amongst those strange and unexpected connections could potentially be the player character.
And you did mention before, romanceable?
Very much so, in unusual and specific ways, but yes.
Well, we look forward to trying that out. Thank you for sharing your game with us, James. We hope you enjoy the rest of the show. And we're back. It was. I told you.
Not the first time you said that.
I mean, I hear it often. Just outing myself on a podcast is brilliant. So, where did we go after that? What did we see? What was next?
Many things.
Yes. I think, what was it? We didn't play, but we saw the DLC for Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah, it's looking very culty. It's looking very lammy. It is Cult of the Lamb.
Is indeed.
The long-promised live service update for Cult of the Lamb. Yeah. They kind of because it kind of launched in a state where you could play it to the end and you could carry on playing it afterwards, but I don't think there was much reason to. And supposedly this update gives you more reason to carry on playing once you've beaten the final boss. So that'll be very interesting. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think in the Devolver area, I think it was quite a few games that we tried, like Bleak Sword DX. I can see there.
Yeah.
That game, the graphics are just like, it's so odd. Just watching that little pixelated man run along, and everything, but like playing you're this tiny little pixelated man fighting pixelated enemies and stuff, and you're in this little square battle arena, and you basically have to clear the areas to move on to the next level. And it was quite chilled.
Yeah.
I can see it as one of them games, like as Nettle said, like when I got up after playing it, she was like, that's one you could easily sink hours into and not realise that they're gone.
Just one more little arena. Yes, yeah.
I can beat this one. I can do this.
I can do it.
Because when you fail, you have to fight the same arena again, and there's some kind of Souls-like-esque element to it. It wasn't really completely clear from the demo, but when you die, you lose your experience. If you go back, you have to beat the same level again to pick the experience up and carry on. And if you go back, it just resets. So that's very, very interesting. And yeah, it's kind of like there's some very light RPG progression stuff. There was items, but you kind of got it at the end of the thing. You've got to choose whether you kept it or didn't keep it. I assume if you get another one, it can replace it. And you gain experience and you level up your stats.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think it's one I'll probably be keep an eye out.
Definitely.
Keep an eye out for. What else caught your eye today that you played?
We Andy and I played a game called Play It Up.
Yeah.
And that is a co-op. I don't know, it's up to 4, I think you said, was it?
4 players.
Although it's been modded, and apparently they've had about 100 people in one.
Yeah, it's moddable.
But you are you're making and like running your own restaurant, but with people that I can only describe as looking like gang beasts without any of the costumes.
I mean, there are hack cosmetics.
Yeah.
You could. I saw someone running around with bunny ears. That was quite amusing.
It
describes itself as like a roguelite version of. Well, they didn't say this, but it was probably kind of what you get if you cross Overcooked with like a roguelite. And there was a lot of like. It was a bit more like each run felt like it was a bit more in depth. So when you start. You have some people in a restaurant. You have to serve them kind of like Overcooked. You have recipes that kind of things that people want that come up. You have to fulfill the orders, but you have to actually take the orders to the people rather than just dumping them. And it works on like a day cycle. So once you've beaten a day, like once you've served all the orders for a given day, then you then have all the money from that, and you can spend that to upgrade your restaurant. You get a bunch of blueprints that drop, and you can just pick them up and put them, like pay for them to turn them into items and put them in places. And you can rearrange the kitchen as well, which is really cool. So you can kind of optimize your layout a bit, so you're not like constantly tripping over each other as you're trying to like wash dishes up while someone else is trying to like serve food. It was really interesting. It's a fun take on the genre, I think.
Yeah, Andy set fire to the kitchen.
I did set fire to the kitchen.
This happens a lot in real life.
Yeah, I burnt the turkey. I haven't actually burnt real turkey, I don't think, but I haven't been trusted near the real turkey. So.
But yes, if this is anything to go by, he will not be cooking Christmas dinner.
This was the other time I managed to speak to the developer of the game for like a few minutes.
And here's the interview.
Yes, a more in-depth take from Alistair. I'm with Alistair here at the Plate Up stand at WASD. It looks colourful and crazy. I'm just going to let Alistair go to town and explain what the game is for us.
Sure, yeah. Plate Up is like a co-op cooking game. It's all about being in control of the challenges you face. So we can see these players here are all running their own restaurants. But every restaurant we see is like a level 1 restaurant, but they're all completely different. So everyone's got the choice of how they create their own problems. So it's a roguelike game. Each session runs for about half an hour to an hour, and with up to 4 players. And you start off in a very simple restaurant with a single dish, and as you go through your run, as you get better and better, you get more and more challenges thrown at you by the game. So every 3 days you succeed, the game will give you another challenge to worry about. So these players here are doing steak, so on day 3 they might well get a new sauce to put on their steak, or they might get to put mushrooms on top, or they can choose things like their customers are going to be more impatient, or maybe their customer's going to order 2 steaks every time, and that will increase the amount of challenge that they have to do. So as they go through, they're in control of things that they go up against, and it means that every time that they lose, so these players here have just lost, as we can see there, if they start a new run there, they get a whole new set of challenges, a whole new set of difficulty that they're going to play up against. And so rather than facing against the same challenges over and over again, they get to like choose the way they do this. And one of the things they can do to deal with that is this team's here, it's nighttime for them now, and what they can do now is buy new upgrades, and they can rearrange the entire restaurant as they see fit. So everything in the restaurant is tile-based, they can move stuff around, they can rearrange it to put it wherever they want. So they can design the restaurant to deal with the challenges they come up against. So if they get like customers that are going to be much more, like one of Carl makes customers very slow to eat, so they can buy more tables so they have more space for these customers to sit and eat very slowly. So it was designed particularly with that in mind, particularly with a co-op game, with these short play sessions. What it does is it lets the players kind of pick up and go as they like. And I think for a co-op game, it's really important that players have the ability to play the game in the way that they want to. And so part of that is dealing with the challenge the way they want to. And part of that is making it suitable for players of different skill levels. So a lot of players I talk to, when they play with their friends in a lot of co-op games, if they're really experienced, they're introducing their friend, then their friend is like, actually, this is way too hard for me. And Playtime is designed to be like, actually, this is your role, and we'll design the restaurant that makes it as easy as possible for you to do your thing, and as hard as possible for me as an experienced player, so we can both have fun playing the game together.
It sounds like you've thought out very well how to get like people new and old into the game. Very much like my co-hosts have now sat down to give it a go. So this could go terribly wrong, but this is very much the kind of game we play as like a group at times. So yeah, I just with the like you said, the short sessions. So is it like you start a new restaurant kind of like each time you jump on?
Yeah, exactly. So if you see, each of these players will have started a new restaurant, but they all have a different layout, and they all have chosen a different dish. And so every time they start, your co-host is about to start here, we're about to see them launch in. They've chosen hot dogs, and they've chosen a very long, thin diner, and that'll give them a certain type of challenge. So with hot dogs, the big challenge is that people like to have ketchup on their hot dogs, and they have to serve it to them on the fly. So while the people making steaks here, their challenge is more focused around getting the steak to the right doneness, your co-workers, your colleagues there have a different, they're doing all this ketchup problem. And so while they both just started the game fresh, it's a completely different experience for the two of them. And as they go through and they build up these things, they can have a very different way of playing a different experience. And what that means is, when they lose, they'll probably be very fed up of ketchup, and they can start a new run, no more ketchup. These guys here, they'll be fed up of steak, they start a new run, no more steak. And that feeling of when it's a co-op game, you don't want a situation where you're having to play the same thing over and over again, because people get fed up, and then someone wants to keep it going, someone wants to stop, and it gets very tense. Whereas here, as soon as something goes wrong, we get a whole new experience for everybody.
I'd like the idea that every time you kind of lose, like you say, it's not a case of like a regular game where you then have to replay the level and stuff. You then go, right, no, hot dogs aren't for us, we're going to try burgers or something.
Yeah, so they've just filled their bin up. Hot dogs cook very quickly, and they've just burnt so many hot dogs their bin is now full, and they've now put a burnt hot dog in the sink, but they're running out of places to put burnt hot dogs. So I suspect very soon they're going to be fed up of hot dogs. But that's great, because there's like 9 dishes in the game, they can switch around as they go. They got a new hot dog being cooked there, they got off the hob in time this time, so maybe they love hot dogs now, maybe they're going to be hot dogs for life. But it's a very dynamic set of challenges. It's all about letting players, it's about letting players be in control of what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I did say it was probably going to get crazy with them, and I mean, how can you burn a hot dog? Seriously.
Exactly. Well, they are very quick to burn the hot dogs. They're very small. They're also not taking anyone's orders, so their restaurant has now closed down. In the first 3 days, you get a grace period where you can restart automatically. So we get to find out now whether they're fed up of hot dogs or not, or they'll try again. One of them's fed up of hot dogs, and one of them's not fed up of hot dogs. They're both fed up of hot dogs. They're going for something else.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. If you can't cook hot dogs, maybe don't open a restaurant. But I'll be fine. I'll be recording them in a second. But thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us about it, and we look forward to giving it a try when we can.
It's available now.
Available now. Perfect. Thank you very much for your time.
That was great. No worries. Thanks.
Me again.
I
Right.
believe it's already out on Steam, that game.
Yes.
You can buy it now.
It's been out since August. So, and as he says in the thing, like there's monthly updates, which keeps it fresh.
I felt like it would have a good amount of like longevity with what's in. Like there was
Especially
seemed like a decent amount of variety. Yes, feels like it's a fun. Apparently there's Twitch integration as well. You'd vote on which dishes you wanted to.
So we might play that one. So if you want to ruin our kitchen, then go for it.
Angerfoot.
Yeah.
Angerfoot.
I played a fair bit of that one. That's like, it kind of was like
It does what it says on the tin.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like a 3D Hotline Miami essentially, but with an emphasis on like kicking things. You do a lot of kicking indoors into people.
Yep.
To kill them, and you have guns with like once the gun runs out, you just throw it at an enemy and you pick up a new one. You die very quickly and very easily, so you have to like do a lot of like avoiding getting killed. And you have to play it a little conservative, but also like dashy, and like it was very fun. It's kind of similar sort of aesthetic, like very neon drenched, very over the top. The music was very like pulsating, heart and kind of like it got more intense when the action kicked up, sort of kind of pounding techno. But yeah, it's very fun. I'd definitely be interested in trying to beat it, but I have a feeling that it's definitely the kind of game where you get stuck and like you die and come back very quickly. So you quite easily see yourself like playing the same level like 20 times trying to get it, and getting slightly frustrated. But it seems like it'd be a good time.
I actually played a game, shock horror, called Mackie's Adventure. It's a pixel art side-scrolling adventure thing. You basically are a being, yes, like a god. I suppose like you've been endowed with godlike abilities of the shark.
God of the shark.
Yeah. So from the bit I played, you're trying to escape a prison. So you're collecting keys to get across like an elevator and stuff, and you pick up a weapon and you've got to dodge. It's quite cool because you can dodge through the enemies to get behind them and then attack them. You've got your wall jumps and everything, but the thing I found quite clever was the fact that when you jumped into the water, there's like, as I said, shark-like abilities, you transform into the shark as you're in the water, and then like not be the shark as you come out again. But the transition's like really clean.
It is really good. Yeah.
But yeah, that was quite fun. Definitely one I think I'd
pay attention to details.
Yeah.
There is a quiz.
Yeah, there's a quiz. You're joking me? I didn't play a game to learn. Anyway, what was next?
Oh, I'm gonna have to go on to my what is possibly game of WASD, which is, and we've been trying to say this name right all day, and we still don't think we've got it right. Cuisineer. Which is the cutest little like dungeon crawler, I guess, as they are.
It's kind of a combination dungeon crawler, and although I don't think you quite got into it, like a combination dungeon crawler restaurant simulator.
Yes, it's a restaurant simulator.
Yeah.
Where in order to get the ingredients for your restaurant, you have to go through dungeons and get the ingredients, but it's the cutest
Everyone is a cat
character.
girl.
Everyone, well no, they're all animal people
right.
of some
Well,
kind.
a lot of them were
The main
cat
character is a cat girl called Pom, who I'm sorry will probably get cosplayed at some point this year, because god damn she was cute. And then she also has like a sister that's called Biscotti, who's another cat girl.
Made me laugh a lot.
Bendy, I'm sorry, you're going to be cosplaying her, you have no choice. But yeah, it was really good, it was really clean, the graphics are really nice, it's really cute, it's not, what I was playing was not hard, it was fun, you hit people with a spatula to kill them.
Just like in real
And
life.
then a massive frying pan was your like special move, you just slammed a frying pan down. But it's like RPG dungeon crawler, cat girl simulator, restaurant simulator. I mean, what more do you want in life? It was just it was great graphics, cute, not hard, but I suspect it will get harder later on. I loved it. I instantly fell in love with it.
Yeah, if you watched me going through the games available at WASD last week, I did say straight away, this one will be Nettles.
I'm so predictable.
To be fair, it looked really good. And,
No, it was really
it's
good.
one I think I'll pick up as well.
It's not finished yet. There were some art that wasn't in, but I mean, yeah. It's definitely one to watch. Cuisine ear. Just listen, whatever. You know how to spell cuisine, and it's got an ER on the end. All right.
That's it.
I mean, for what the demo was, it looked really good. So.
No, it did.
yeah.
Yeah, they did a really good job, and it should be out this summer. They said so. Watch this space.
Yeah.
What's next?
What else?
I tried Iconi Island.
Yes, you did.
I did. Iconi Island is a multiplayer like farming, like building sim. From what I got from playing it, and basically the trailer, and the developer that started talking in my ear when I put the headphones on. That was funny. I put the headphones on, and all I could hear was hello, And I didn't say anything because I just thought it was the game. And he went, hello? Again, said nothing because I'd picked it up in the middle of someone else's game. And then he went, I'm real. I was like, oh, hello.
I think both me and Nettle knew what to expect because we'd seen these before.
I saw the
but I don't think you had any
side.
idea that was a thing. And yeah, I can imagine if you're not expecting it.
I saw the
That would make me, like, leave
light bulb
immediately.
moment come on for Tempus at that point.
Well, the thing is that it was funny, when I put the headphones on, I saw that the mouthpiece was down, like the microphone, and I thought, that's a bit odd. Why would you have that down when you're just playing a game? Clearly it's to talk to someone that knows what they're doing. But yeah, so it's up to 4-player, co-op straight away off the bat, so you ain't got to do some like tutorial level or anything like some of them games do. And it's quite, it's quite cool because there's 4 different characters you can play. Your tools in it are actually creatures that you tame that do the mining and the like axing and everything for you, like really cool. But you have to tame them, and you can't tame them until you like build like complete shrines and things like that, which is really cool. But like obviously my huge takeaway from this, and I was talking to Nell about it, those grass graphics were fucking amazing.
He did love the grass graphics.
Like honestly, I said like people always gush over water graphics in games, but the grass graphics in Iconi Island were top notch. Like they needed an award for that.
Well, they might get one.
Yes, but yeah.
Well, they'll get the Unnamed Grass
Yeah,
Award.
well, yeah, obviously that is now a category every year in the Unnamed Gaming Awards, Grass Graphics Award. But no, that was really good. What bit of it I played seemed really cool. It'd be quite interesting to play with others because I imagine that at a certain point you can all wander off to different places and do your own things because I looked at the map and it's vast. So like if you're looking to build something but you need several, like so much resources, but they're all over the place, it's not like everyone's got to be on the same point of the map, you know, everyone could just be like, oh well, I'll go and collect this then. But yeah, no, that was really good. That one's going on my wish list. So
what's next? Oh, one that you and I both played, Hackshot, which is like a super indie game. Like super indie, like one person developer indie. Which is basically, it's a really like,
it's kind of
it's a novice game, but it's not got that many components to it. You're literally trying to unhack your mobile phone.
Yes.
So you've had lots of spam and, you know, hard. So Dad's gone onto your phone and downloaded something because he didn't understand. You know, as it happens. And yeah, so you're trying to get back your phone, and you're like hacking your own phone, and it's just really interesting. Like
it was like golf gameplay almost.
Gameplay, yeah. So
like
you're
2D
firing
golf.
a ball to get to certain nodes, which are the hacking things. But you have to be really
Viruses
clever
and
with
stuff.
you have to be really clever with where your line of sight goes to get to these things, and then over time stuff gets harder, like there are bits that can kill your ball and blah 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 blah. I enjoyed it. It was definitely more your kind of,
Yeah. So there was
definitely your kind of game than mine.
So there was the controls for it were very interesting. It was very precise. You had a lot of control over exactly what angle you were going to pick.
Yeah.
You could undo a move completely for free. But the thing that probably makes it more different to most of the like other kind of golf games is that you can customize like the settings on your ball. They call it like mods on your packing thing, and you can do things like turning gravity off. You can change how much like bounce there is from impacts, and you use all this to kind of like send your ball through a particular path to fulfill more than one objective in one shot, basically. And you have to try and do like lots of things in one go. And yeah, it was really interesting. I've not really played like that many. I've played a few like 2D golf games, so it felt very different to sort of like that kind of. It's a very interesting take on that kind of trick shot thing, and the sense of humour was really good as well. I really enjoyed it. It made me laugh quite a lot.
There's a story.
There is a story.
On.
There's a story, but the story is it's very silly, and lots of sort of jokey lead hacker humour.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good.
Oh, okay. So I think on the opposite side level, we played quite a few games, didn't we? Between us, tried a few. I'm probably going to spout off fast about some of these because
they're short and sweet.
Yeah, we didn't spend too much time on them. Like the first one was one that I was like looked quite interesting. When I looked at the trailers last week was Gaudlets, which was like the city builder where the little gourds just automatically come and visit your place. But I don't know if it was just me being dumb, probably, or whatever. But I found it frustrating that you couldn't rotate things. You couldn't rotate fences to go like downwards. They'd only go sideways and things. And like obviously, I'm guessing it might have been like the demo build or whatever. But like it was only like a finite amount of things that you could use to build with. So I'm still gonna give it like I'll probably still play it when it comes out proper and everything like that. But like it feels. I think it's gonna be one of them quite chilled ones. It has that. You know, in the back of my head, it's got like that unpacking vibe to it. You know, like you'll just sit and play it and enjoy yourself. But yeah, like I don't know if it was just if it's just the thing like they don't want you to rotate. That's how it's going to be. Then that's fine. But I was just frustrated because I wanted fences to go fucking down, but I could only do them sideways. And then I believe. The other one I tried was The Naturalist. That's what it was called?
Yeah.
Yes, The Naturalist. Basically, there's a demo out now that you can play, but the whole concept is you start with an empty meadow and you scan things to like complete missions, and then you can start planting flowers and then getting wildlife coming to your thing, and you'll scan them, and so you basically grow this thing, and it runs at 100 times our time. So he was saying, because like the developer asked me afterwards like what I thought, and he just said like it's cool because you could plant a couple of things, go to work, come back the next day, and there'll be like a full field of things already grown. And it's like, but the demo we played starts 30 years in, and he said that's like 5 million times or whatever it was.
Jesus.
What we are. But that seemed quite relaxing. One you could just pop onto for an hour or so, do a few bits, drop back off again. But you know it's still going to be doing stuff in the background, so it was quite good. Insomnia, which is on Steam right now for £2.8, was quite cool. What I played with it, it's quite funny, like because I have trouble sleeping, and I related to it so much because she was laying there in bed, and then all of a sudden this tiny little person just started talking to her. She was like, "No, not you," and I'm like, "Yes, I get that." Like it's like her brain just won't shut up when she's trying to sleep, and I was like, I relate to this entirely. And then it's about like on the other side of the screen while she's in bed tossing and turning, like the character, your soul like clicking on things to try and solve a puzzle to get through to the next day and stuff. So that was quite cool. I think that was me on that little area.
Yeah, so I played something called Town Seek, which is a little resource gatherer and exploration game, but you are sharks on an airship.
Why wouldn't you be?
Because why not? It's very cute. The graphics are very cute. You know, there's not much more to it than that, but again, this is one of those games where you're just going to be toddling around for an hour, just trying to relax and do not much and have a bit of fun. You know, there are tasks that you have to do, so you have to get certain equipment in order to go to different islands because they're overgrown, or like they have lots of like thunderclouds, you know, stuff like that. So there's going to be a bit of thought behind what you did, but yeah, it was just a very cute, chill game, and that's really what you should be looking for on it.
Yeah. I mean, I liked the artwork of it.
Was beautiful. Apparently, the artwork was done by somebody in Brazil.
Wow.
So they're based in Portugal, and they had somebody in Brazil doing the artwork for them. So that was cute. And the other one, I don't know if any of you realise this by now, but I quite like my gardening games. There is one that I play called
Horticulture.
Horticulture. I can't say it.
Horticulture.
Thank you.
Horticulture.
It's really hard to say, apparently. Where you.
Cuisinia.
Apparently I've just chosen all the games that are really hard to pronounce. You basically, for whatever known reason, otherworldly gnomes come to you in the middle of the night telling you that you've been chosen to help them grow their garden, and that's all it is. It's a garden growing game. You're growing the garden for them. there was only a small patch that you could work with in the demo, and you just were planting plants, and you could sell the plants, and then the next bit would be you get animals, so you had to befriend a bee, and you had to adopt a bee basically to make sure that the bee was doing stuff in your garden, and then as you did stuff like that, you got more plants and you sell them all. I'm going to get it because I want to see where it goes. But yes, it was very cute. You know, it's what I love to do. Nice, relaxing plant plants and see what happens with them kind of game. So yeah, that was me.
I think
the only one of these that we've not talked about that I played is a game called Automatoys, which was basically it's a bit like Screwball Scrabble.
Scrabble.
But like
3D
there's like
Scrabble.
3D Scrabble like.
Well, not that Screwball Scrabble wasn't 3D.
And you insert a coin, and then you have a little ball that you have to work its way through this maze on the side of this thing. Reminded me a bit of what's it called?
What's it called?
Something Valley. Monument Valley.
Monument
that sort of
Valley.
aesthetic. It wasn't like didn't have Monument Valley's kind of 3D perspective trick gameplay, puzzle gameplay. It was more just like a basic, literally a Screwball Scrabble machine, but like a very fancy looking one.
Yeah.
But it was very, very satisfying. It made all the nice noises as you press the button.
Nice noises.
There was some. It was literally mostly just one button input. But it was surprisingly effective, and there's like similar to. I think it's a mobile game. There's well, at least it's available on iOS and Android, and I don't imagine it's very expensive. And there's about like I think in the build that we were looking at there are about 12 levels to choose from. I don't know if there's more than that. But there's like time trial things, like kind of a star system similar to like old Angry Birds, where you have to do certain objectives to get all the stars. I think it's just a time-based thing. You have to do it at a certain time. But yeah, it's very fun to play. Very, very satisfying. Quite sort of.
You tried Zoe as well while you were there. Do you remember?
Which one was that? The
little shooter one with the bananas.
Oh yeah,
and the
that
apples.
was weird. I didn't really know what to make of that. That was a very, very very unusual game. Yeah, I don't really feel like I could talk about it very much. It was a kind of weird mix of like, kind of a shooter sort of thing, kind of maybe like a little bit sort of platformy, but I'm not really sure. Like I don't really know how to describe it, to be honest.
This game is apparently a brand new genre.
Yeah, well, I mean, it genuinely felt like it's kind of a little bit of sort of like arcadey, bullet helly type thing going on. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what to say about that one, to be honest.
No.
It was a very interesting game. I'm sure it'll be on Steam or wherever. Maybe there'll be more information about it. But yeah,
That's fair enough. I think the only real major one anyone played other than that was you gave Scars Above a go.
Oh yeah, I did give Scars Above a go. Yeah, that kind of it's a third-person action RPG with sort of. It had kind of some Souls-y aspects to it, in that it had sort of Souls-like save system where you have a big. Well, they had like in this game it's monoliths, kind of works similarly to bonfires where you heal up, but it respawns all the enemies, and it had like doorways that are like only one way that you have to go around and unlock to sort of make it so it's easier to get around. It's kind of sci-fi. Third-person shooter take on that genre. It seemed like there was a lot of emphasis on like matching various sort of elemental effects. You have like a weapon that I think by the end of the game has 4 different modes for like fire, lightning. I think there's ice. I don't know what the next one is, but I think you have to kind of match that to like the environment. You're like if you've got enemies in a puddle, it's good to shoot them with a lightning gun, for example.
When he
enemies
says
have
puddle, he does actually mean lake.
Kind of like a lake, yeah.
He did kill himself shooting electricity
I did kill
into.
myself, yeah. No, there was a big lightning thing on the side of a lake, and I shot it and it exploded and killed me. But generally speaking, it seems like there's a lot. Enemies have like big glowing weak spots. I think the larger ones do. The bosses certainly do. And I think there's a lot of like matching your weapon to the enemy you're facing. But yeah, I played it for about 10 minutes. I think it's the kind of game where you need to play it for a little longer to like really see how it feels to play long term. But it was quite interesting. The story seemed intriguing. I skipped all the cutscenes to try and get to the gameplay. So
Where did
We
her
don't
jacket
know where
go?
the jacket went, yeah.
no, she was wearing a jacket. The protagonist was wearing a jacket in the intro like mission thing where you're just kind of like building your first weapon, and then after the dramatic events that open the story happen, she's no longer wearing a jacket. But why, we don't know. Well, maybe we do.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
So apart from that, I think, I mean, I'd probably just say there's a couple of games I wish I could have got to play, but they always seem to be busy.
Really busy.
Viewfinder.
Viewfinder, yes. So Viewfinder is a puzzle, but it's one of those puzzle games where you have to place the picture in front of you to go forward.
Okay, you get like creates the geometry in the picture.
Creates the geometry, which is always really
and the
good.
background.
Yes.
And we watched a lot of people play it. It looked really fun. It looked definitely one that we probably, a lot of us here, I say a lot of us, there's three of us. All of us will be playing. I think the funniest part is when they went through and then they just skip forward really fast because they're like, this is not part of the demo. It's just like,
cut out an entire section of the game.
Okay.
It must have been like a cut scene or something, or whatever.
or just it
Spoilers.
hasn't been.
Or a bit of story they didn't want you to see.
Then there was
System Shock. That would have been good to play. I didn't get to play that.
no, that was behind a curtain.
Yeah, that and
18 plus apparently.
Dead Island 2 were like,
Island 2,
you
yeah.
literally had to queue to play them.
Yeah. Road 96 Mile Zero. Now, Tempus and I were both saying that we actually really wanted to play Road 96 and we still haven't.
Yeah.
I don't know if any way back when I believe it's the Xbox conference from last year in the middle of the year. It was it was a trailer there, and we both said that looks really good. We want to play it. Never to play it.
Standard.
So this is a deal. This is a prequel to it.
It's a prequel game, yeah.
Mile Zero. So we didn't manage to play it, but I mean, it looked good, but it looked kind of different, didn't it?
Yeah, it's very much. It feels like it's on an acid trip. Is basically what I'm going to say. It looks like it's an acid trip. My head looks so wide way up in this corner. Sorry.
I don't like being
Giving
in the
Tempus
middle.
body dysmorphia.
Yeah, it looks quite good, and as you're playing as well, you play along to like Offspring and things like that. So there's like actual music.
You're
playing
going to
in
get DCM made if you stream this.
Yeah. But I think, there was one I wanted to play, but the demo wasn't available. The Kraken something. The Kraken Wakes, I think it is.
Yeah, the Kraken Wakes. That's it.
It's based off of a book, so.
Yeah, it's yeah, I was a bit disappointed that it was just. I think I don't know if it had been working earlier in the day.
I think I'd seen people playing it.
So I don't know whether they just
something's
gone home for the day or
whatever,
something's gone wrong. Computers got balked. But yeah, that was a bit disappointing. But I'm sure we'll play it at some point. Hopefully they might put a demo up on Steam. We can figure that one out. The other one that we went and looked at, but they only had 2 computers playing it. It was Full Void, which is this really beautiful dystopian future where I believe they said robots had taken over.
Yeah.
And it was a side scroller where you're a teenager just running away.
Yeah.
And then the story behind that, obviously.
Yeah. But like you hack things as well.
You
to
hack
get
things,
moving.
but it's not the only death scenarios. It's not like there's no fighting. It is a kind of a walking simulator.
Yeah, basically, if you're caught, there's like a death scene,
yeah,
and then like if you fall, there's a death scene, but then you just come back, which is quite cool. So basically, so basically, you're just trying to get away.
Yeah, but it was very pretty. It was a slightly. It wasn't 8-bit. Was it 64-bit?
16-bit.
16-bit. It was pixelated one though, but it was really pretty. Like the vistas that you came across in the background were gorgeous.
Yeah, and like the fact that when he stepped in with the guy who was watching play, he stepped in to a scene, you saw it was all dystopian and that, and then it cut to what it used to look like when it before everything happened.
Yes,
as like there's a bit of story going
memory going on, which is always good. I always enjoy that. It's slightly disappointing again that we didn't get to play that one because I was talking to the developer of it for a little while. They are testing at the moment. This is a test for them to see how people get on with the puzzles, and then they'll be working on it a bit more, and it's due out at the end of the year. So yeah, that one was a good one.
To be fair, I think that's the majority of it.
I think that is the majority of it, to be fair, yeah. I just want to give a big shout out to Vampire Survivors, who are here today as well, who won 2 BAFTAs, including Game of the Year, above God of War and all the others. Yeah, they won that.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to them. always good to see indie games getting some BAFTAs. It's always appreciated over the big guys who win everything else. So Terra Nil is here as well, which is already out. It literally had its release date about 3 days ago, something like that. 28th of March. God, 28th of April. I'm fast forwarding. 28th of March. It's a good game. Buy it, please, and play it, because it's a well thought out, really chill game that you can sink a lot of time into. And I say that from experience. When I started playing at like 8 o'clock at night, and all of a sudden it was 11:30. But yeah,
Sign of a good game.
it is a good game. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's.
Yeah, I think that's it.
That's
I mean,
all the ones that we were particularly interested in this one.
overall, I think we saw some good games. We've all come away with some games that I think we're going to be looking to play.
Yeah.
My wish list is definitely long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, all good. Overall, enjoyed myself
we
as
forgot
usual.
one.
Highland Song.
I knew we forgot one.
Yes.
Highland Song.
Highland Song looks amazing.
So it is a side scroller, but it's a to the beat side scroller. So you have to jump to the beat.
To the beat, the
To
bagpipes.
the beat of bagpipes. It's got an actual soundtrack done by an actual band specifically for the game. So yeah, that one is one that I will be.
Yeah,
Game.
definitely. The artwork was amazing in
So
that.
beautiful. And now I think that really is it.
Yes. So before my tablet runs out of memory, because it told me it had like 36 minutes and we're still going, so hopefully this is recorded. I'd imagine it has stopped, wouldn't you?
Oh, I think we'll probably tell you.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes. So yeah,
That'll be it.
really good. Enjoyed myself.
Again, yeah, really good. We said it last year, we're saying it this year. If
Yeah.
you get the chance to go to WASD, please do, because it is a really nice indie event.
Yes. And I think what was quite nice is they've changed venue. It's a bigger venue, but I still don't think that it was overly crowded to get into
No.
places.
No,
So
no, it's very easy to get play time on most of the games.
Yeah.
It wasn't like if people have been to like the Saturday and Sunday of EGX, it's usually rammed even in the like rezzed indie section, whereas it wasn't super busy. It was pretty busy. Like
I mean,
obviously
it's
they've
busy
done
enough.
alright,
Yeah, it's busy enough that we couldn't get on some games, but was never busy enough that we ever felt like
Yeah.
we had to just leave the room.
And you could have gotten on them probably if
If
you
we'd waited
really
around long
wanted to
enough.
play a game. You
yeah, I mean, I think that's down to just how popular some of them games were.
Yes.
So, and I feel like people went back and played them more than once.
Oh, probably, yeah.
But yeah, so really good. Enjoyed ourselves again. Thank you for having us, WASD.
As always, thank you. Yes.
We will be back next year. Hint, hint. But yes, thank you for joining us. We will be back to our regularly scheduled podcasting.
Do we have a regular schedule?
No.
No, that's not true. Bendy and I have been extremely busy because, as some of you may or may not have known, it's the start of con season at the moment, so we are currently finishing off cosplays and starting to go to conventions again. So, but next week, it becomes much calmer for us.
So yes, if you're any cosplay conventions and you see Nettle or Bendy, say hello. They do bite though. But yes, brilliant. I think that's it.
Yeah.
We done?
Thank
We
you.
good? Yes.
Thanks for watching. We love you.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.